Hi, welcome. Thank you for watching my presentation. My name is Joan Mullen. My research focuses on the connection between a student's grade level and their genre preference. What drives a student to select one book over another? This is a question that librarians and teachers have tried to answer, forever. Studies have proven that the more a student reads for pleasure, the higher their academic achievement. So, as teachers and librarians, we want to supply books that students would want to read in order to promote higher academic achievement. If librarians and teachers could figure out if there is a connection between book preference and student age, they would not only save a lot of money from their budgets, and they would buy books that catered to the students' needs, but also, in addition, having all of these books handy would then in turn encourage student reading, which then would encourage more academic achievement. Over the years, teachers and librarians have attempted to match students to books. Some of the ways that they have tried to do this is using Lexile levels, Fontes and Pinnell levels, AR levels, and even the famous five-finger rule. And all of these methods are very good at showing what students can and can't read. They don't show us what students want to read. Many studies have been conducted about students reading. Watts and Wendwick in 2005 conducted a study using something called Book Match. Book Match matched a student to a book by the book's physical characteristics, sentence length, page length, vocabulary. As with the previous mentioned types of matching books, it tells us if a student can read the book. Again, it doesn't tell us if a student wants to read the book. Stevens in 2008 and Hartford and Kemmel in 2001 conducted two different studies about book choice. Both of these studies focused on how teachers choose books for students, not how students choose books for themselves. Bang-Jansen's study looked at students' reading, and it came to the conclusion that having a choice was the biggest factor in pleasure reading, that if students had choice in what they could read, they were more apt to conduct pleasure reading. But again, what would cause a student to select a book for pleasure reading? What would have them choose one book over another? Schwartz and Hendrick got a little closer in their study of students with special needs and how they selected books. From my research, I found that the biggest gaps were if age and grade level played a role in students' book preference. Which brings us to my research question. What is the relationship between the age, grade of a child, and their preferred book genre? Method section. The target population for this study was Sleepy Hollow Middle School and High School. Sleepy Hollow School District is about 20 miles north of New York City. It is comprised, the middle school and high school, of grades 6 through 12. It is a very diverse population of 2,682 students. The sample that was chosen was a representative sample of the population. And as you can see, it's almost 50-50, half and half, male and female. 60% of the population is Hispanic, 30% of the population is white, and then 3% each make up the rest of the population: 3% Black, African American, 3% multiracial, and 3% Pacific Islander, Hawaiian, and Asian. This study is a quasi-experimental design study, and it is used to study the relationship between the independent variable, which is the age of the student, and the dependent variable, which is the preferred genre. The age of the student is a pre-existing variable that cannot be manipulated, and there is no control group for this experiment. It is a cross-sectional design because cohorts of the sample are divided by their grade. Comparisons of these different grade cohorts will be used in the results of this research. The advantages to this type of research design are that participants are only seen one time. And by this, it eliminates the threats of validity because there is no need to measure over time. To start the research study, we first needed informed consent since the majority of our participants in this study were under the age of 18. So informed consent was sent home to all the parents. The instrument that was used was a survey. It was made up of 20 restricted questions, statement questions using a Likert style measurement, and then 3 open-ended questions that if students needed to further add to their answers, they were then able to. Students, as they age, their tastes in books change also. It is expected that younger students are going to like the more fantasy-like books, while older students are going to enjoy the more realistic type books. These results are expected due to observations that have been seen and student. Okay. Thank you so much for joining in my presentation. If you have any questions, I will gladly answer them in the comments section. Have a wonderful day.